I'm a chicken mommy, y'all. Let's go set up the brooder. So here we are. Here is my brooder, y'all. And guess what? It's a tote. I am very frugal. I'm not finna spend no whole lot of money on stuff. I'm not gonna sit there and get that $60,000 brooder that some of these different agencies and people, groups and stuff recommend. We're just gonna do a tote, y'all. Okay? We're gonna keep it simple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this tote and I'm gonna line it with some newspaper and we're gonna put some shavings inside it and keep it simple. All right, for the heat source, I've already showed you my we call heat lamp that I've got inside my shed. Well, guess what? Here's my heat plate, okay? Easy, simple. I try to keep it as easy as possible. I've got the heat plate already starting to warm. It takes about a good hour for this heat plate to warm up. And then, of course, it comes with the lid. Now, this heat plate, it has the 4 legs on it that you see, and you can raise and lower the heat plate according to the size of whatever you're, needing to brood. And of course, in this case, it's going to be baby chickens. When you use the heat plate, you do not have to worry about regulating the temperature because it does everything for you. It's one temperature, and how you regulate it is you will either raise or lower it according to how your chicks respond. They will let you know if it's too cold or if it's too hot. If it's too cold, your chicks will be all balled up together, probably in the very center of the plate. And every once in a while, I'll just kind of lift the plate up and look underneath it and see how they're looking. If they're all balled up together, then you know it's probably too high and they're too cold. So you just lower it down just a little bit and that'll usually solve the problem. Another thing too is if your chicks are really, really cold, they're going to make all kinds of racket. So they're going to be chirping and cheeping, making all kinds of noise. But once they get under this heater and they are nice and warm, it will be silent night, y'all. It'll be nice and quiet. So, and then on the other hand, if your chicks are getting to the point where they've started to develop their warming feathers instead of their down feathers, which are the little feathers that they're born with, the real soft, fluffy one and fuzzy ones, as their body temperature starts to regulate and as they start to grow, you will notice the little baby chicks will be sleeping around the perimeter of this heater and they'll have their heads sticking out. That kind of lets you know, okay, maybe we don't need this as much as we used to. And then after a while, they'll be like, scratch that. I ain't finna go up under there. It's too hot. They will sleep in the rest of the brooder, but not sleep underneath of the heater. So then you know, okay, it's time to roll out, buddy-o. Go and take this heater out. All right, so let me show you the measurements on this brooder, and then I'm also going to show you how I made the top. So the length of this tote is 21 inches is the length. The width is 38 inches, and the depth is 18 inches. I'm going to show you a couple of revisions of things I did here. So you see, I cut some slits in the side here, because this is where I actually will take the cord from the heater and sort of drape it through there, okay? And then because I need to put a lid on this thing, after about 2 weeks, these bad boys are going to show you that they want to learn how to fly. And they start trying to fly out of this thing, okay? And then another thing that I like to do is you see there's wires sticking out here on the side? I run a wire through here because as they grow and I lift up the waterer and the feeder, because I've got actually one on the other side too, this wire helps to hold it because sometimes these little chicks get kind of rambunctious. They'll flip this bad boy over, y'all, and I ain't trying to have water and stuff spilled all over my shavings, and then on top of that you'll have wet chicks, and that's a no-no. All right, let me get the lid and show you that. So this is the lid of the tote, and what I did is I took my drill and drilled a nice big hole in the corner here, where I made the corner of this opening. And then I took my jigsaw and just kind of cut out a section on the inside. And then you can either use hardware cloth, you could use, this is actually hardware netting, which has sort of a plastic PVC coating. You could also use screen, but you want to do something so that they still have plenty of air circulation. But then you can also take a little flashlight or whatever, and you can look on the inside and see them too, okay? And kind of keep an eye on them. I only put the top on it when they get big enough that they try to fly out. Until then, I just keep the top off of it because it's just as simple. I can walk by and see these little buddies in here, and don't have to worry about that. But anyway, also what I do is I drill some holes around the perimeter of this opening, and then you can see that I put zip ties in here just to secure it. Nothing major, just little small stuff here, but that helps to secure it, so keeps it in place. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and put some newspaper in here to line this, and then I'm going to tape it in place, and then we're going to go and get some pine shavings and put them inside of here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put these pine shavings in here. One thing I forgot to mention to you guys is, what is a brooder? A brooder is a temporary home that you put your chicks in after they hatch. Generally, they are in the brooder only for about 3 weeks or so, 3 to 6 weeks, we'll just say it that way. But in this situation, because it's wintertime and it's Kentucky, there's no way in the world I'm going to put these little babies outside in the snow. It's just too cold. And they'll be way too small to go out there in the big coop with the big girls, okay? Because the big girls, man, they will have a heyday. And I tell you what, when you mix a little baby chick with grown girls, you are asking for problems. All right, so I'm going to dump some of this in here. I'm just going to put a little bit. I don't want to put too terribly much because I only want it to be about 1 inch deep. That's it. They don't need a whole lot. That may be way too much, and I'll probably have to dump some of it back out. So you can see that this is in a clump, and then, like I said, you're going to just break this apart, but let's see. Let me put this back because this is probably too much here. Ooh, this stuff is dusty, getting in my eyes. It's supposed to be low dust, but there is no such thing as low dust. And you can see there's areas where I actually taped the paper in place because I don't want the chicks to be moving the paper around. Now, one thing about the paper, you don't have to put paper in it, but I like to because it makes it easier to clean. I ain't trying to be cleaning all that stuff up. All you gotta do is just slide it out. It rolls out. Put this back. All right, I'm gonna shut this off. I'll be right back. Okay, so these are the shavings that I like to use in my brooder. I don't care what brand it is. You do what you do what you can afford, and do what's available for you. It's all basically about the same. But some have finer, some have more coarse flakes. It really don't matter which one you use. But for me, I have found that the finer the flake, the more dust you're gonna have. Woo! It's a mess, y'all. So this is what I use inside of mine. All right, let me get this inside it and we'll go from there. This is what the front of the bag looks like, so you guys can see it. But again, it doesn't matter which brand you use. It's all about the same, all right? Now, this stuff inside the bag is real tightly compacted. So this bag is going to look like, man, this is not much. This thing goes a long way, okay? Because once you take pieces of it apart and put it inside your brooder, you just take your hand and kind of just pull it apart and it fluffs out, all right? Here are some of my brooder lights that I use. I've got some of these regular brooder lights, but then I've also got a heat plate. And me personally, I like the heat plate better because I'm a little bit nervous using these heat lamps or heat lights, whatever you want to call it. You know, they run a little higher risk of fire than you would if you use the brooder plate, okay? Now, I've got, this is like my little baby box. I don't know if y'all can see that, but my baby chick items that I keep inside this little tote. It's got my waterers, my feeders, the bases and stuff like that. I've got the rest of it in the house already, so some of it you'll see out here and some of it you won't. But as far as your lights, you want to make sure that you use those infrared lights or lamps, whatever you want to call them, because that way it doesn't get too hot. You don't want something that's going to be fiery hot and burn your house down. They've got the 250 watt bulbs, and then they also have the 125 watt bulbs. bulbs. For me, I feel like the 125 does the job. Your chicks will tell you if they're cold or they're hot, because wherever this lamp is shining, if they're cold, they're going to be huddled together up under that lamp. If they're burning up, they're going to be away from the lamp and where it's shining. So that will tell you what you need to do. Some people say you can put a thermometer, on the ground underneath of where this lamp would be, or where the lamp shines, because, again, just pay attention to them. But you can, I don't remember what the temperatures are, as far as it's got to be this temperature for the first week, and then the next week if you raise the lamp up higher, or you could use a lower wattage bulb, and then it has to be another temperature, and by a certain week again it has to be this temperature. I can't be doing all that, y'all. I just use my heater plate and that brooder plate. They're either under it, in the middle of it, or they're on the sides. Once those little chicks start sleeping around the sides of that heat plate, or their heads are sticking out, then you can start tapering them off of the heat. All right, let's go finish the rest inside, y'all. I'm getting their feed and their water ready. So for my baby chicks, I give them warm water. Always give your baby chicks warm water. Never give them cold. You're not trying to shock these little babies. You want to keep their body temperature nice and warm. And what better way to do it but to give them nice warm liquid. Not hot, because we ain't trying to have fried chicken or baked chicken, but we just want it warm, okay? Also, to the water, I usually add, if I fill up this container, I usually put about a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in there. I got the kind with the mother. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's your decision. I like to use apple cider vinegar with my baby chicks because I believe that vinegar has wonderful medicinal and health effects. And I feel that apple cider vinegar helps to boost the immune system of my baby chicks. It's also good for their GI tract. And I have found that I do not have any problems with my baby chicks having pasty butt. And if you're not familiar with pasty butt, what happens is their vent, which is basically their hole for excrement and also for egg laying. In these baby chicks, the vent is very immature, and so is the GI tract. So I don't want my chicks to be getting where the poop sticks to the vent and then they can't poop. And so what happens is they get all this crusty, just pasty poop that is stuck on their vent, and because nothing is going out, those chicks will not survive. Okay, but you have to keep their vents cleaned. If you do notice any pasty butt, be sure that you wash it with warm soapy water, and then of course dry them off really well. And I just find that when I use apple cider vinegar in their water, I don't have to deal with that. Okay, so for their feed, I use just non-medicated chick feed. I don't have any particular brand or anything like that. No, it's not organic, but if you want it to be, you can. Okay, I choose to use non-medicated because I don't find any reason for me to be giving my baby chicks antibiotics and all kinds of weird chemicals. At least that's the way I feel, but you do what you want to. As you can see, that's the top to my little spice grinder, and I just put their feed in there and I give it a little zzz, and just kind of break it up a little bit, because their crops are immature and their crops are not ready to handle a Big Mac, a large fry, and a Diet Coke. So I like to kind of break up their feed for the first few days and make it slightly powdery. And then also I was going to show you too, this is the cup that is on the waterer. These are the little minis, because I don't want my little chicks to get all wet and I don't want them to drown. Okay, so I like to use those on my water container for at least the first few weeks, and then after that I'll switch to a larger cup as they get bigger, because they're going to want to drink more water. And also it depends on how many chicks you have. If you use the larger water cup, then you will need to put some marbles or something in it so the little chicks don't drown, because these little chicks, they are very very peculiar, and they like to get out and be inquisitive. They want to play in the water and get their wings wet. And of course, you know, like you said, that is a no-no. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this in the brooder and we'll go get the chicks. Okay, so inside my brooder, I have put a ceramic tile. I'll show this to you here, ceramic tile. And then I just take a piece of newspaper and fold it over top because I want the water to stay level. I do not want the water to tip over because, again, that will have a bad outcome, y'all. And then I just take a little paper towel, put the feed right in the middle of it. These little chicks are so messy, y'all. They are going to have feed all over the place and probably have the water going every which direction. But I like to raise it up off the ground so that way, hopefully they don't make too much of a terrible mess. Earlier, I had my heater plate, I had it flipped upside down, okay, because I was letting it get warmed up. So again, the way that you work this, or the way you raise and lower this, is you just squeeze this leg in, and then you can move let me see if I can get it here. You can move this little peg in and out to make it taller or shorter or whatever you choose. I'm going to start with it about here, and then we'll see how they do. I want to make sure that they can get tucked under here pretty easily. And if not, I'll just change the height of it. Again, I like to place the wire through the side here so it fits through the hole. Now, let's see, let's turn it this way. That may be enough room for them. If not, I may have to change it. And then, of course, it's got a cover because after a while, these little chicks, they're going to be trying to jump on top of here. And they're going to be pooping all over this thing, y'all. So I ain't trying to do all that and then clean that stuff up. This is called a rent-a-coop. I don't know if you can see that. This is a 12 by 12 heater plate. And for this particular heater plate, they said that it will hold 20 chicks. No, it won't. It might hold 20 quail chicks, but it's not going to hold 20 chicken chicks. I would say probably for this, I would probably do no more than, let's see, maybe 10 chicks, maybe 12. Because as these little chicks grow, they're going to be fighting and pushing each other out. And, you know, they're kind of territorial. And they start pecking order even at this young age, you know. So, like I said, I would probably do maybe 10 chicks at the max on this instead of 20 as it's advertised. They have all different sizes of these heater plates, and like I say, they are wonderful. I really, really, really like it. I feel safe using these rather than a heat lamp, but again, it's to each his own. You know, it's whatever you have, what's available to you, and what you can afford. Because, you know, we're not trying to go broke trying to raise chickens. Another thing that I want to say about raising chickens is chickens are real animals, y'all. When y'all go to Tractor Supply, Rural King, or any of these places and purchase these baby chicks, please remember, these are real animals and they require care. They require attention. So I just really get, you know, I get really perturbed when I see that people are going and just buying these because it's Easter time and they want to fill their child's Easter basket. You know, to each their own. But just do remember that these are real animals, y'all. All right, y'all, let's go get the babies. So y'all can see we got the babies, y'all. So out of all my eggs, I ended up with 3 chicks, y'all. So disappointing. Ugh. But anyway, I think I have some issues with the incubator. So probably that incubator will be finding a new home. So anyway, let me grab one of these little chunky monkeys here. And oh my goodness, look at that, y'all. Look at that little munchkin. Oh my goodness, so stinking cute. So let me show you about their vent. So of course, here's the tail. And then just below the tail, that's the vent, okay, which is the bottom end, as we'll say that in a nice way. All right. So basically at this point, you have to teach these little goobers how to eat and drink, and also want to show them where the heat is so they can go in and get warm. Okay. So to teach them how to eat and drink, basically hold them and you're going to push their head down in the food. It looks a little forceful, but it's not. I'll grab another one, show it where the food is. There, bubs. And they'll get the hang of it. It won't take long. They'll figure it out real fast. You don't have to take all of them, but I've only got 3, so I'm going to show them each. Oh, I already done this one. So I'm going to show them how to eat and drink. All right, they'll get the hang of that. And then let's do the water. Same thing. I'm just going to kind of just push the head down, the little beak down into the water. It looks brutal, but it's not. It doesn't hurt them. Again, like I said, they get the hang of it. It doesn't take any time. All right. And then also going to show them where the heat is. Hopefully I wasn't in your way for that. I might have to raise this up a little bit more. Let's see, go on. Yep, let me raise it up some more. It's too low. Sorry if I'm blocking your view. I do apologize. All right, so I got the heater level where it needs to be. All right, so let me take one. I'm just going to kind of tuck it up underneath and push them way under there. Come here, bubs. You just want them to barely fit under this. No, it does not burn them. Now, if you've got it way down to the ground and they don't have any space to kind of move around, that could probably be bad for them. But you just kind of push them under every once in a while. They'll get the hang of it really quick. Go under there, bubs. They're kind of chicken see, chicken do. So if one comes out, they all come out. Right now, they probably want to explore because this is a whole new spot for them. They're like, oh, okay, we're in a new home, y'all. Come here, come over here and eat. And like I said, they'll get the hang of it. Once one of them does it, they all do it. So that's it. So my little chicks, they'll be hanging out in here for the next few weeks. And actually probably the next few months, because with Kentucky, we got a long ways to go before winter's over. And I tell you what, when you have baby chicks inside your house, one of the things that people don't tell you is you'll be cussing. And you'll be ready for them to go by the time it's time for them to go, trust me. But I'm going to also be posting another video on things that people don't tell you when you have baby chicks. So just kind of be looking out for that, because that talks about the downside of having baby chicks. And, you know, I just want you guys to be educated and informed before you guys make a decision to endure with this. But anyway, you can see my little guys are over here, or girls, whatever they are, they're over here eating. And hopefully in another day or two, I'm going to try to wing sex them to see if I have hens or roosters. Hopefully they're all hens. But anyway, I appreciate all of you guys' support, and I do extremely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for watching my videos and following me. And I will be posting many, many more videos. Be sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and also feel free to share my videos and leave me some comments. I love comments. So anyway, you guys have a good night, and thanks a bunch, y'all. Have a good night. Bye.